Good afternoon. I'm Ray Crossman, President of Adler University. Welcome to our commencement exercises. Welcome to the graduates and to the family, friends, and community of the class of 2020. Graduates, although we could not be together today in person, my colleagues and I are excited to join you, your family, and your friends in this virtual environment to celebrate your accomplishments. We celebrate your successful journey through graduate school. We celebrate your continuing journey of learning, scholarship, service, and growth as we welcome you into the disciplines of counseling psychology, industrial and organizational psychology, applied psychology, couple and family therapy, art therapy, clinical mental health counseling, forensic psychology, rehabilitation counseling, sport and human performance psychology, public administration, public policy, clinical psychology, and counselor education and supervision. You are completing graduate school during an extraordinary, challenging, and transformational time in our history. A global pandemic holds the world's population in thrall, which reveals social injustice, structural racism, and leadership disconnected from communities. You are essential right now. You've worked hard in your studies to meet this moment. Adler University, too, has and is working hard to meet this moment. Your work as practitioners and our work as an institution must be awakened now in new ways to advance a more just society. To be an Adlerian, an Adler University graduate, a socially responsible practitioner, is to be an effective agent of personal and social change in the pursuit of social justice. Congratulations on answering this call to action, and congratulations on your achievement. Our commencement speaker today will be from an accomplished community activist, Marcie Rendon. Ms. Rendon is an enrolled member of the White Earth Nation. She's an accomplished author, playwright, poet, and community arts activist who also supports other Native artists and writers to pursue their craft. She's the producer and creative mind behind Raving Native Theater in Minnesota, which brings voices and visibility to other Native American artists and performers. While studying criminal justice at Moorhead State College in the early 1970s, Ms. Rendon was part of a group of Native student activists who successfully demanded the launch of the university's first American Indian Studies department. She later earned a master's in human development from St. Mary's University. Through her work, Ms. Rendon has brought a strong and essential voice to many genres while raising up other Native voices in her community. Whether she's writing about residential or boarding schools or incarceration or the epidemic of missing and murdered Indigenous women, she's raising up voices too often unheard, especially those of Native women. I'm pleased to welcome Marcie Rendon.
You think I have visions because I am Indian. I have visions because there are visions to be seen. Buffy St. Marie. I am not what happened to me. I am what I chose to become. Carl Jung. Buju, Awanakwe Indigenous Cause, Megazini Dodame, Gabababi Gani Kagan Dunjaba. My Ojibwe name is Awanakwe. I am Eagle Clan. I am from the White Earth Nation in northern Minnesota. My English name is Marcie Rendon. I live in Minneapolis. I'm an author, writer, advocate, mother, grandmother, great-grandmother. I'm very, very honored to be here today. We are in this time of COVID-19, which means that you are seeing me, but I cannot see you. I wish that I could. I would love to see your faces. Some of you are tired from working so hard to arrive here today. Others of you are happy to just be done. There is excitement and there is pride in a job done, a job well done, or a job done enough that got you to this point here today. I was and still am quite shocked to be given this honor to speak to you today. In the mid-1980s, a friend and I, both single mothers on welfare, decided to get our master's degree in order to better our lives and the lives of our children. At that time, I considered the Adler Institute in Chicago, but opted for St. Mary's of Winona program here in Minneapolis, where I got an MA in Human Development, my key area of study being psychology. Prior to receiving my master's, I worked as a pre-release counselor in the Minnesota State prison systems with Native Americans through Heart of the Earth Survival School's prison program. While working on my master's, I went to work at an outpatient adolescent sex offender treatment program where I work with young offenders and their families. I also work with survivors and their families. Leaving that program, I worked in the first ever in the world, inpatient sexual addiction treatment program. During all of this time, I have been involved in peer counseling, where I facilitate workshops and classes primarily for Native American communities at a very grassroots level, but also in other communities of color. This peer counseling is a process of learning to listen well to each other, to work together to end all oppressions, and a tool for building community. So that's a capsule of the work that I do. What I would like to do today is talk to you about resiliency. Given my childhood, many people ask me how I am so resilient. My flippant response is I bounce. My parents were very poor. Some of my earliest memories are of my siblings and myself hiding food in the woods because we knew there would certainly be times when there wouldn't be food. There was the familiar saga of no electricity, no running water, tar paper shack. There was alcoholism, there was racism, and I was a child before the Indian Child Welfare Act came into existence. My brother and sisters and I were placed in foster homes when I was 6 or 7 years old. When asked about the foster care experience, what I tell people is that, well, that was 12 years of hell, and I choose to leave it at that. What I tell my children and grandchildren about resilience is that you get up each morning, see the beauty in the world, and put one step in front of the other. Every step that you take forward makes room for someone else to move forward. We go forward, we open doors, and we hold doors open. We are all born with a deep excitement about life, with big dreams and hopes for what we might accomplish. Life has a tendency to wear us down. Some of us give up on those hopes and dreams, but they are never really gone. They are just covered with layers of dust. The dust of oppression, the dust of abuse, the dust of addictions, the dust of too many hurts that it seems impossible to get rid of. While it may seem impossible, it is completely possible to dust off those hopes and dreams and live them to fruition. There is much talk in the Native community and other communities of color about historical trauma, how that trauma is passed down through patterned ways of behaving, through systemic oppression, and it's even passed down in our DNA. I am of a firm belief that if trauma is encoded in our DNA, so is resiliency. For Native people, those of us who are alive today, we are the descendants of the 5% they didn't kill. We are the dreams and visions and purpose of our ancestors. We are resilience. Excuse me. We are way more resilient than we are our trauma. Each of you here today, you are the dreams and visions and intended purpose of your ancestors. You are their planned resilience. You are their planned resilience to oppression. By graduating today, you are honoring their determination to see that life gets better. Everyone is born a leader. You are a leader. Any one person at any given time can decide to work to see that things go better for everyone. Sometimes it's working with a family member or a neighbor. Other times it can be putting one good idea time after time, putting it out, and reaching thousands eventually with that one good idea. To lead, it helps to develop the awareness to be able to think about the individual as well as the whole. It has been said that a human can effectively hold up to 150 people in one's mind and to be able to think well about them. Sometimes we have to move a whole group forward. Then again, sometimes just moving one key individual forward can effectively move an entire group forward. You have to be able to develop the skill to think flexibly and attentively to what you are trying to accomplish. I personally think that to be the most effective leader, it is important to lead with love. This is one of the key teachings for us as Ojibwe people. Lead with love. We have all spent lifetimes sitting in classrooms, reading books, listening to lectures, all to inform our minds, to give us things to think about and thoughts to inform our actions. This is good. We need good minds. But just as importantly, we need good hearts. We are at a time and place in history of humankind that leading with love, learning to lead with love, is crucial to the continued existence of humans. There is much talk in academia and in the general world landscape about decolonizing our minds. I joke and I say, I have decided to copyright the phrase, decolonize your hearts. I dare you to love deeply, fully, gently, and with compassion. That was the true state of our ancestors prior to contact. Dare to love fiercely, strongly, unabashedly, passionately, to see that things are set right in the world. How does one do that? I think the first step is to engage in meaningful life experiences. What gives your life meaning? Do you know your purpose in life? This is a quote from Chief Orville Looking Horse. Each of us is put here in this time and this place to personally decide the future of humankind. Did you think the Creator would create unnecessary people in a time of such terrible danger? Know that you yourself are essential to this world. The world at this time of social upheaval and climate disaster needs you as a leader, as someone leading not just with a good mind, but leading with a good heart. The climate emergency requires that we all think well, think in new and different ways, and that we engage our minds and hearts to come up with new and different solutions to these new emerging issues related to climate. We need to be able to think about all people, not just our kind. Humankind is our kind. We need to think about those without water in Detroit, the farmers in Iowa and Nebraska inundated with floods, fires out of control on the West Coast, the rising sea levels on either coast, and the forced climate migrations that are beginning to occur right on this continent. In order to address the issues impacting the humans and the earth around us, we have to think and feel deeply. We need to strive to feel a deep connection to the earth and the air around us. We are interconnected not just to the humans around us, but the very earth and the air that gives all of us life. On May 25th, 2020, I went silent. I had no words to express my pain and outrage at a man who could kill another man while looking dead in the eyes of a teenage girl begging him to stop. I had no words, and it seemed vital to me to leave space for Black voices to say what they needed to say, and even to leave the silence of space to speak for itself. Today, I think I have some words. We are at a time in history where there is no turning back. Each person, in the best of their conscience, must do what is right for all of humanity. We have all suffered enough. We have all witnessed enough. We know in our heart of hearts what is the right thing to do, the human thing to do. How do we fiercely love enough to create change, be change, live change? How do we fiercely love enough to say never again, get off my back, join the struggle with me? How do we stop living in a fantasy world where people have been trained to ignore the collapse of the false dream around them? How do we hold each other tenderly through the coming times? Lead with love. We are so used to looking into a screen, some of us have forgotten how to see the human before us. Learn to feel the love in your heart and send that love, compassion, warmth out through your eyes. Spend time regaining and recognizing your connection to the earth and the air that gives all of us life. You are a leader. You have an excellent mind. You are the resilience of all the generations before you. Miyu Ginatam. What I said right there is, that's it. Now it's your turn. Miigwech. Thank you.
Ms. Rendon, the breadth and depth of your work highlights the resilience and brilliance of Native people whose very existence has been denied throughout modern history. I know your creativity and passion for social justice inspires our graduates as they enter their chosen field as Adlerians, socially responsible practitioners. In recognition of your work, it is our honor to bestow upon you an honorary doctorate. So on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the faculty, and the administration of Adler University, I extend to you our appreciation and recognition of your ongoing commitment to advancing social justice. On this day, the 6th of December, 2020, by the authority vested in me as the president of Adler University, I bestow upon you the honorary degree of Doctorate of Humane Letters.